Hey Rebecca, I wanted to leave you some feedback on your rough draft. So I think that you have a good sketch for this narrative. I could see a setting emerging. I can see uh, how this could be drama filled, right? In that it sounds like not only is it like personally challenging, but we were talking about Duckworth this week, and how she learned she learned about camaraderie through her service. I would argue, one of the same things is going on here. And then through that lesson of, you guys are all in this situation together, how does that help build empathy? So I think that you have a good sketch. And I call it a sketch for this reason. So you're primarily relying on summary details here. So to revise, what I want you to do is try to focus on the areas of the paper that would benefit most from slowing down your pace and including action, descriptive detail, and dialogue. So I think that the opening paragraph sets the stage, but I would argue that most of this is summary detail. So I think that this opening paragraph would be a good one to revise. So remember, we talked about in medias res. So instead of telling us about the pure torture, right, paint a moment where you are out running with your teammates, and paint that picture of how exhausted you all are, but despite all that, somebody says something encouraging, and then everybody starts encouraging. You know what I mean? Just paint that picture. And I think that if you do that here, it will be a really nice pivot to what you got going on here. I think that you're building setting pretty well. I would like a little bit more detail about Neosho, and maybe what the campground looked like, maybe how many other campers were there, what's the average age range. Yeah, so just bring in a little bit more descriptive detail here. So this is a summary detail, I think, of the story that you want to tell. So this is the area where I want you to move away from summarizing what happened and instead tell it through action, description, and dialogue. So what I would do is yank out this sentence here, start the narrative here, and then begin building what you have with more description, action, and dialogue. Does that make sense? So this is the point that you're trying to prove, but your narrative is going to be stronger if you prove it through those strategies that we talked about. Yeah, and here's another, this is probably your moment of change and your highest point. And again, like, you're using summary detail, which is fine in the rough draft, but this is where I would focus on, showing the reader through action, description, and dialogue rather than telling. And then you can go back and return to this idea at the very end, to indicate your purpose. And so I think, like I said, I think it's a great sketch. I think at this point what it is working on revising those scenes. Okay, thanks.